Hey guys, JH. Welcome to Practice Tee. Okay, just to give a little bit more insight into how to think about this golf swing. Trevino had a saying when he was back playing at his peak and he wrote his book. And he said that basically what he did was aim left and hit right. If he was lining up, the target was there, Lee would aim here with his body, take the club on his body line, which everyone said was outside. Well, it was outside the ball, but it was on his body line because he just turned it on his body line. But then he got to here. Now, in order for him to hit right, he had to loop the golf club in. And with that forward ball position, you had to be a genius. You not only had to loop it in, you had to slide laterally to get in a position where you could hit it. Because if you just stayed here and then hit right and you didn't lateralize as much as he did, you'd never get to the golf ball. Now, he was a genius and he had that capability to do that. We could never do that, and that's why no one's ever swung like Lee Trevino and why no one's ever swung like no1, because they are geniuses. They can do that sort of thing. But the requirement to do that is off the scale. But the point I'm making here, guys, is he had basically the right idea for him. Now, what I'm saying is that when in order for us to back cock the shoulders as much as we are, as much as we're going to, that puts them way right of the target if you're a right-hander. So you have to compensate for that by aiming your body way left of the target to start with. Very much like Trevino. And we just basically do this, which I've extrapolated on in a couple of the other videos. But we're aiming here, and then when we back cock with this extreme back ball position, when we back cock the shoulders, we're on the line. Look, I'm square here, as opposed to being square to the line and the extreme ball position and then back cocking the shoulders, I'm aimed over there. So that's the difficult, well, not the difficult, but just something you've got to work out. You can't line up dead square and back cock the shoulders because you'll be aiming way right if you're a right-hander. So we can't do that. So that's one of the things that you have to come to grips with, and you've got to work on. And down the track, I will give a formula for that. But this is early days, guys. We're probably not even 3 hours into this process. But I've got to tell you, in having been only 3 hours into the process, the involvement for me in ball striking and accuracy is just ridiculous. I said it before, if I'd had this 40 years ago, I've no idea. Well, it goes without saying that I would have had quite a golf career, because I would have had 40 years of hitting the ball the same. This commits you to hitting the ball one way. Now, the other thing is, a couple of guys have said, with the driver, do we have to turn the face in inordinately in order to not hit the ball straight right? Well, no, you don't have to. If in the course of trying this and you find that you're just blocking it straight right, guys, the logical thing to do is just aim further left at address, and then you will just block the ball straight to the target. It won't be a block, but it'll be just a push straight to the target. There's nothing wrong with that. All you want to do is get your ball going exactly the same way all the time. Now, there are ways of doing this. I don't find that I have to do that at all. I'm sorry to walk off camera, guys. I don't have to do that myself at all. if we're talking about the driver, I mean, I just line it up there, here, step away, back cock, and then I just fire it here. Now I'm firing it into out, but I'm firing it into out as I would with a normal golf swing. Now my worst shot, if I don't release the golf club, will be a little push, but that's not going to hurt me. That's not going to hurt me. And someone said on the on the comments on my channel yesterday that can we modify and bring the ball up a little bit? Sure you can with the driver. Sure you can. Sure you can. Yet don't play it as extremely as far back as we're playing everything else. Bring it to there. Just bring it up a little bit till you hit the ball, but don't take it back to that conventional position, because guys, I feel really strange now if I go into a conventional positioning here. I feel like I'm tipped this way. I feel like this side is not contributing. It's all over here. It's really peculiar now, and after only about 3 hours doing this in total, or maybe an hour and a half off camera hitting shots, so maybe 4 or 5 hours. But I couldn't go back to conventional ball position ever again. Now the other thing that helps me with the driver and doesn't make it feel as extreme is that I grip the club down, as I've been doing since I picked up on the single length Cobra golf clubs. I've gripped everything down, including the driver. So that helps me. So you might try that, because you won't lose any distance, guys, because the hit becomes so much more efficient. The quality of strike comes up dramatically. So you can lose a bit of fulcrum length in the driver because the efficiency of your hit will come up. So the trade-off is we're going to trade club length and maybe a bit of radius and a bit of speed for efficiency of hit, which I think is a good trade-off. But can you play it up a little further? Sure. But what I do in preference to doing that, because you want to condition the brain to have the ball basically in the same position all the time. So just persevere with it a bit, and if you're blocking it, just keep turning around until you don't block it. You may end up 60 degrees left, just depends on the individual. And then when we back cock here, we're aiming straight at the target. Now there's a tree up there. Now, I haven't had a swing this morning, and guys, they say as the older you get, the sillier you get, and I'm just a perfect example of that. I was in the gym last night doing ridiculous, for me, weights in a hack squat deadlift, like way heavier than I normally do. And I've done something to my right arm and here, and to these two fingers are totally numb. I can't feel it. So I've pinched a nerve, or I've done something, but you know, just typical. So I haven't hit a shot and I'm dead cold. But so here it is, guys. Look. Now I'm going to aim at that tree. There's no wind here today. It's just like being in a vacuum. I can't believe it. First time I've ever been on JH, but actually no wind. And this is the winter, guys, and it's like 27 degrees Celsius. Just crazy. Crazy. So here we are. I'm going to aim at, there's a little corridor up there, whole bunch of trees are cut down, going to be taken away between that and the trees, about a 15-yard corridor. I'm going to knock it up there. So if I push it a little bit to the right of that, if I'm aiming at the centre of that corridor, I might push it 4 or 5 yards, which is not going to hurt me. But that's my target. But I ain't going over here. And in my mind, I visualise all water down here, which is incentive not to go there. So guys, to answer the question with the driver, see, I don't know how much that is. I'll show you front on. There's the target line. Here I am at probably 45 degrees left as a right-hander. So we back foot it, we back foot the ball, we try and get this perpendicularity here, as Martin Ayres built that word a number of years ago, perpendicularity. I don't know if it's a real one, but Marty used it, and so we're going to say it's a real one. So we're achieving perpendicular. And guys, when we step away here and we cock the shoulders, so we're going to lose a bit of that perpendicularity. We're going to go a little bit with a bit of angularity. More to the point, people will be looking at this and think it's hilarity. Guys, you might think it's hilarious, but I tell you, it's just fantastic. All right, dead cold, here we go. Here we go. I don't know how much, but I just feel it. I almost feel, guys, I'm looking directly at the target. That's a good feel. Almost can't see the shoulder at all. I'm almost looking directly at the target. Here, just get that foot away. Then I'm just going to back cock and just rip it up the alley. That's just ripped straight up the alley. That's the middle of the alley. That's the middle of the 15-yard alley. Now that was a very stiff swing, and probably only about 80% effort, and but it went 80% distance. It was perfect. Well, probably went 90% of my normal distance because the hit is so much better. Okay, so here we are. Here, back cock it. Well, that's, if the other one was 80 and 90%, that's 110%, so that's made up for it. That's super. So guys, they're just little snippets that I want to pass on to you, so you can do this a lot of different ways. And going forward, I'll have a lot more formal stuff that'll help you. Now, as I said in the other video, what I discovered the other day just walking around out on the paddock was the pulling down. When I get in here and I back cock the shoulders, pulling this down here really does help. Now the other thing that I didn't do then, which I preached about yesterday, is the 3 o'clock nose. Once we back cock here, we've got to get our nose pointing to that imaginary clock here and the 3 o'clock there. Try and think of a 4 o'clock, and then you'll achieve a 2:30 or a 3 o'clock. Now I didn't do that then, but that's one of the cornerstones, guys. You've got to have the 3 o'clock nose to keep that shoulder corralled. The more you have this jaw pointing back and your head pointing that way, it's almost a lock on this trail shoulder, which doesn't let it open up. So we have the 4 o'clock nose. Here we are. Just step away, JH. Back cock. 4 o'clock nose. Oh, guys, if there's something that's more middle of middle, then that's it. If that's, I think it's about 14 yards wide up there. That's right in the middle. You count. There's 7 yards that side and 7 yards that side. That's dead straight, and that's a 4 o'clock nose. So that's really important to keep those shoulders closed. You need that 4 o'clock nose. Now I don't do it all the time, and I just forget it. Now you can't forget it. Now guys, so I've only been in this about 4.5 hours now, and it's almost second nature. So it's something you can learn really quickly. Really quickly. Here we're going to go. We're going to back cock it. 4 o'clock nose. Oh, I got to tell you guys, with no exaggeration, that is just pounded. When I say it's pounded for old JH. Not pounded for Bubba Watson or anybody that hits a long way. So our body doesn't have that sort of horsepower, guys. But that's much stronger than I normally hit. And the quality of hit is there. That feels like, the best compressed wedge that you'll ever hit. It really is a compressed feeling, which I never get really with the driver, because I'm always sort of in this position here. And the shoulders have opened up a little bit. Okay? And see, guys, dead cold. They're 4 drives and they're just perfectly straight. Yeah, I'm just basically looking at the target there. Then I just back cock it. That's right on top of that other golf ball. I mean, that's, I don't know, just really crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Yeah, so you can, there's a lot of modification and adjustment for the individual. You'll have to work out your own numbers. And going forward, I'll have a formula that you can start at. But to be able to get the feeling, you know, if this is our golf ball here, to be able to get the basic structural process in place, which is here. We've got both feet together, got the ball positioned at least, you know, in the middle of the trail foot, and then we're just going to turn around and step away, and then we're going to back cock here. Now as soon as I do that, I point my head over here. My head's this far behind the ball over here, which is good because that's where I want to fire the golf club. And the other point I made the other day, guys, which may have sort of been lost in communique, is that this golf swing is very much firing the club at the ball, not at the target. We're firing the club at the ball. The target goes, all the anxiety of the target dissipates and gets out of your thinking. We're not thinking about that, we're thinking about that. And thinking about that gets that to there. That's one of the really good things about this. Just hit a couple of irons up here. I can't believe how hot it is. I mean, I'm actually sweating. My hands are sweating. Maybe it's the excitement of the golf swing. Okay guys, watch this. Here we are. We're dead. We're lined up dead on the ball. Both feet together, parallel to the target. We're going to just move the feet around, turn the body around, step away, then back cock. Back cock the shoulders, 4 o'clock nose. Oh, that's 5 iron. That's just unbelievable. That 4 o'clock nose, guys, is just so important. That keeps the shoulders locked down. And the point I made about the Hogan wall here, this side of the golf course is totally eliminated. You don't go there. Well, if you do go there, you've really got to look at your action. You say, wow, how did I come over from 40 degrees close to 20 degrees over the top? Back cock it, 4 o'clock nose. Guys, it's just a fantastic feeling. I mean, I know I'm really running off with excitement because it's just an amazing golf swing. I mean, those golf, I mean, we would kill to have that ball flight all the time. I mean, I would just wish I'd had it in my early days of my golf. I mean, those two balls are right beside each other. And it's simple. I don't have a lot of clutter in my brain. Okay, there'll be a bit of clutter initially going from conventional mechanics and traditional mechanics to this, which is, you know, aim way left and then, you know, back cock yourself into a parallel position. Now that's hard to comprehend for some people, I would suggest, but they're just beautiful golf shots. How far left am I? And guys, the hit is just dead center. That's the thing that's amazing. They're just dead flush city hits. I mean, flush city. Out of this awful grass here. But the good thing about being over with the cows, guys, I know I can do this video. No one's going to come up and walk in front of me, and I'm a little bit further away from the traffic, so the audio's should be better. Oh guys, those shots are just perfect, and these are dead cold. I've just got a little bit of feeling back in my trail hand. That's interesting, not having that feeling in there. I don't know, could actually be a plus. So here we are, we'll go right through it. We're dead. Here we've got perpendicularity. We're going to turn the feet around. There's the way to do it, guys. Just turn your feet around and have a look where they're pointing. Then just step away. Then back cock and 4 o'clock nose. And just kill it. You're a killer, JH. Old 75-year-old killer. It's just crazy. Guys, this is real deal stuff. This is real deal. I'm not going to... My whole channel now will be devoted to this. I've been looking for something I can hang my hat on my whole life. And that's why I've gone down the road, the many roads of the other golf swings. And they've all got their merits, but they haven't got the total merit of all this. Okay, let's just do it again. Feet together, perpendicularity. Just skew those feet around, step away, back cock, and 4 o'clock nose. And just smash it. Now see this, guys? I want to feel like that, and I want to look like that. I want to feel that, because that means I'm firing into this trail vertical axis, which is what I'm trying to do. I'm using it. I'm really using that. Be interested to see what my buddy Martin Ayres thinks about this. There's a lot of Marty's stuff in here. This hitting behind the body. Marty was saying that, 6-7 years ago. He was saying that you've got to hit to the right of yourself. But I'm doing that in the extreme, from an extreme ball position, and a super shutdown cocking of the shoulders. Now, when I tried to hit to the right of myself with conventional ball position, I was always thinking about how am I going to get back to here if I'm hitting there. But here, because I'm already set up here to the right of me as a right-hander, it's no trouble. Okay, watch this. Just skew those feet around, step away, back cock the shoulders, and 4 o'clock nose it. That's the best shot I've hit since I've been on the system, guys. That's the best one. I hit a couple the other day. Oh, that's just ridiculous. I mean, that's just ridiculous. I mean, this is the sort of thing I know is going to happen. I'm going to start getting this type of contact that I've never had before. I mean, I know the grass is a little long here, and you get a bit of a juicer, but and there's a bit of grass behind the ball there, but that's crazy. I mean, that's up. That's every bit of 3-iron distance with a 5-iron. All right, last one. Here we go. Here, skew the feet around, step away, back cock it, 4 o'clock nose. Guys, I could tell you anything because you can't see the golf ball, but I'm a former Boy Scout, and we don't say things that aren't real. That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable for me. I've never experienced that. That's just incredible. And it'll only get better, guys. It'll only get better. I'll see what the light's like, and I'll try and whip a couple down here and just show you what that alignment is like to reinforce from behind. I'll be back.